In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I make these really easy DIY magnetic bulletin boards that are really fun for picture collages. Alright, so got this roll of sheet metal. It's like 28 gauge sheet metal just from my local HVAC supplier. And what we're going to do is get this cut down to the general size of the bulletin board. Now when you unravel this stuff, you can act like a wild dog. Now, I should have unrolled this the day I got it, but I've been working on some things here in the shop and never got around to it.
Alright, this footage is from a giant bulletin board I made for my sister-in-law several months back when I was in the old shop. I enlisted the help of my mother-in-law to lift this 4x10 foot sheet of sheet metal and flip it over. I'm using contact cement to adhere the metal to the backer board, which gives me a good amount of open time. And this time I used 1/4 inch MDF for the backer board. After I was done with clamping the metal to the backer board, it looks something like this. Alright, so here I'm trying something new that I've never done before in cutting the metal with a metal blade in the track saw. And as you can see, it didn't really work out here. And it just started smoking, and the blade wouldn't even make it all the way through the MDF. So I scrapped that idea about 1/4 of the way through this backer board, and you can see me here trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So I go back to the jigsaw and put a metal blade in the jigsaw, and it cuts through like butter. Well, not necessarily butter, but like a steel blade against metal. So here I'm just cutting down stock to approximate final lengths. Now I'll take everything over to the joiner and get 2 edges square to one another so that I can then put it through the planer and square up that other edge. Now with 3 sides all cleaned up, take everything over to the table saw and cut everything down to final width. Now here I am cutting out the rabbet that the backer board is going to sit in. Here I'm just checking the depth of the cut. And what I really love about this Incra fence is the micro adjustment that you can make for cuts like this. So before cutting everything to final dimensions, I take a 1/16 round over bit and knock off the edge. I really like this bit because it just takes off the edge without having to sand it. And here I'm probably listening to some podcast, getting distracted. And then it's off to sanding. If only sanding was this quick. Alright, that's enough. No, really. That's enough. Alright, so I'll bring everything back over to the miter saw and cut everything down to final lengths. Now I know I skipped a step and didn't film myself applying stain or finish, but who really wants to watch stain dry? When putting the frame pieces on, it's really critical to make sure that the frame itself stays square. The backer board doesn't necessarily need to be square, but it does help when applying the French cleat in the next step. When installing, I go ahead and mark out the studs that I'm going to be securing the French cleat into. I'll mark those usually on a piece of tape so that I can remove the tape after securing the French cleat to the wall. Also, so I don't leave any pencil marks on the client's wall. A nice thing about this French cleat system is that it comes with a bubble level that you just snap in to one of the channels, and it just helps to not have to have an additional level or an additional tool on site. And here, just making sure that it fits center into the space, just adjusting side to side.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you like to give me a thumbs up, and if you have any comments or questions, leave them below and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, that's a wrap.
Tune in next time for a jam-packed video full of meaningless nonsense like this one.